I may go down rabbit holes and tangents, and I'm sorry if I do, but I will try to keep along with the main message of the video. The main message of the video I want to talk about is, do Seraph the end characters have free will? Now, I will say this and state I know it's a fantasy manga. Okay, it is a story written by a person, so those characters, in theory, don't have free will, but I'm just talking about free will as a concept of, can the characters really do what they want in that story? I'm going to compare two characters that I think have a difference of free will, just so you have an idea of what I'm trying to talk about. The main character, Yurichiro Hyakuya, basically has the most free will because he'll literally do whatever he wants and anything he wants, and he will get away with it. By that I mean there's no other force that will punish him for his decisions. Of course, every cause has an effect, and some of the effects are bad, but I'm just pretty much saying that he can do whatever the hell he wants, and he won't have to care about it. Comparatively to the other character that I want to talk about that had a very big role in this chapter of chapter 98, which is Mahiru Hirage. And the reason why I want to talk about why I don't think she has any free will is because, well, she talks about it a bit. Mahiru has said that her entire life was planned out and calculated by who we are just going to call the first vampire, just to keep it simple, or the first as well. You could say, if you took her words literally, then yes, she does not have any free will. But I know some people out there are going to say, well, she could just abandon everything, but she kind of did, and, well, to put it simply, she did play the role of a sacrifice during Christmas one year. Let's just give the argument that since she abandoned the Hiragi family, maybe she has a little free will. Okay, so let's talk about the little free will that she has. There are two definitions, you could say, for free will. The first one is voluntary choice or decision. So yes, in the little free will she did have a voluntary choice or decision. But overall, the second definition is freedom of humans to make choices that are not determined by prior causes or by divine intervention. That's the thing. Overall, she really does not have free will if you look at it. In her case, true free will would be eloping with Gurren. Gurren and Mahiru go off to a faraway place or somewhere in Japan and have a family and live happily ever after. But that never happened and probably will never happen. I don't know what the hell they're going to do in the story of the Seraph at the end. The author can do whatever the hell he wants at this point. It's kind of confusing. Took me 5 or 6 months just to realize what was going on in the story. Some people don't even know what's going on in the story. That's how confusing the writing is. Tangent aside, I don't believe she has true free will. She does have a lot of planning that she does do and has done. But let's talk about a bit more of the chapter and a bit more of her conversation with Cruel. This stuff is happening with Cruel, by the way. I forgot to mention that, but the most important part is, does Mahiru have free will? When Queen Cruel asks, what are you trying to do? What are your true intentions? Mahiru says, I want to be controlling my life. Not the cults, not the first, not fate. She wants to be in control of her life. If you take a person's free will, how would they act? Well, I think Mahiru would be a good case of how people would react. People would try to do whatever they want to get their way. It's just in human nature, from what I have read. I'm no qualified to say this, but from what I have seen, human nature is we want what we want, and if we don't get what we want, we will do whatever we want to get what we want. One thing I want to state, like I said before, I know this is a fantasy story, a fantasy manga written by a person, but from what I can say is the character, Mahiru, really has no free will in this story. If you guys disagree with me and said she could have done this and this and that and this and this and that or whatever, leave it down in the comments below. I would really like to know. I really want to know other people's opinions on Mahiru and how she acts. She's very hated in the community, but I believe, she's just trying to do the best that she can. I mean, yeah, sure, sorry for the Mahiru fans out there. She may be a bitch, but there's a reason why she's a bitch.